And we're live, finally. All right, well, welcome everybody. Greetings, gamers, dice lovers, dice goblins, adventurers alike, and welcome to the Dice Profiler, the only place where you can get to know your die before you buy. Today is our very first live stream. It is our very first VOD. This one is, for all future intents and purposes, will be A1725. That'll be the naming structure for all future VODs, as it will be made clear why. But today is very exciting because we are launching our shop today and we will get through our very first 15 profiles. We have one of every type of category. We have, what do we have? We have 6 categories of die that we sell, and we are going to be able to get at least one, if not multiples, of every single category today. So I hope you're really excited, because I am. It has been a long time coming to finally launch this, and we were successful over the weekend of getting everything done. So we've got everything set up here, but let's talk a little bit about how this is going to work. As you can see, we have our dice set up here, but what we are all about here, the Dice Profiler, is developing individual personality profiles for D20s. Now, if you've ever bought a new die and had to roll it a couple times to figure out exactly how it felt, well, this is where you don't have to do that. We're going to do that for you. We find unique and interesting die that we like, and we bring them here. We will roll them 100 times live here. The VODs will be saved on YouTube as well, so you can always go back to any die that's in our shop before or after your purchase, and you'll be able to see all 100 rolls done. Now, those 100 rolls are done live. I catalog and calculate all of them here with you live. And then we develop what we call the personality profile. This is what's going to be sold along with every single die that you buy from the Misfit Gamer Studios dice shop. So what this is going to be, and with this, is you are going to get a series of 10 stats. So that's where our motto comes in: 100 rolls, 10 stats, 1 personality. Those stats are going to range, well, not even range. Those stats are going to be how many, the first one and the last one. So the first roll and the 100th roll obviously are going to be nice to see where it started and where it ended. We're also going to get the sum and the average, what I kind of like to call its strength score and power score. And then you're going to see how many 20s and how many 1s it rolled throughout those first 100. You're going to find out what favorite number it has, so the number it rolled the most. We're going to find out its hated number. Now, this number is going to be rolled at least once, but the one that was rolled the least. We will find out what sticky number it has. Sticky numbers are numbers not rolled the most, but the ones rolled most consecutively. So while one number can be rolled 9 times, if one is rolled 5 times in a row, that will be considered its sticky number. And then, of course, we have the final forbidden numbers. Now, this one will most likely often be blank, but forbidden numbers are exactly that. If 100 rolls happen and there is a single number that was never rolled, that will be the die's forbidden roll. Along with the dice personality profile, you will have, I will actually pull out an example here. You will have, starting with it, the category of die that you get. So something, in this case, would be the classic die. You will have all of the numbers filled out as we were rolled here, and then you will have a description of the die at the bottom. On the back side comes a QR code to our VOD channel that all of our videos after the live stream will be saved to. At the very top, you get a VOD number, which is going to be the same as the one that you see up here. So A1725 would be today's number. So you'll be able to go to our VOD channel through the QR code, look at the VOD that you had the die rolled on, and there will be a timestamp for the VOD, so you can actually go watch the die being rolled anytime after your purchase. So that is what the personality profile is all about, and that is what the Dice Profiler is all about. We've tried to find the best die. We try to find, common die, but we also try to find ones that we find really unique, and we roll them here. So that is pretty much our introduction. I hope everyone's excited. I very much am. And as you can see here, as an example for where I store all of them, this is the standard dice box, and they fit nice and neat right along the side. So each one of our dice will be sent along. If they come with the box, they'll have the box with this inside of it. And then other ones, the card might be separate from it, but we'll get into that. I did mention before that we have 6 categories of dice. So let's talk about that. Our 6 categories range from the classic die. So this is just going to be your standard, single color Nothing really big frills die, standard resin plastic, nothing big. Those are going to be what we call our classic die. Those will range from single D20s, and of course we also have your classic die sets. Again, no big frills, but with these particular ones, the D20s are always rolled regardless of whether they come in a set or whether they come a single D20. The D20 is what gets the profile. The sets are just what come along with it. Next up from the classics, we have our prestige dice. Now, these ones are going to be a little bit nicer. They're going to have a little bit more of a design to them, and they're going to be a little bit more unique and harder to replicate. So those are going to be what we consider our prestige dice. Our next level up are going to be legendary dice. Now, legendary dice are going to have something quite unique about them, and they're going to be a little bit harder to find. So something like glow-in-the-dark dice will be considered legendary, as well as fits our motif. So something like magical dice will be great. Use a glove. I've thought about that, actually, but I don't have one right now, but I would consider that in the future. Other than the legendary dice, then we also have what we call artifact dice. Now, artifact dice are going to be a little bit unique in terms of something's going to make them stand out. Usually it's going to be the material that they're made out of. Every other style of dice so far is going to be resin or plastic. But with our artifact selection, this is going to be everything from glass, crystal, gemstone, metal, what have you. So those are going to be our nicest level of dice. So we have one of all of those, and then we have two specialty categories. One category we like to call our companion category. These are typically going to be mini sets of dice. I like the idea of companion because they're going to be able to go with you anywhere you want. So those are going to be our companion sets. And finally, we are going to have our colossal sets. These are going to be our oversized D20s and D20 sets, or dice sets. So with these, we are also going to have those in our colossal category. Every single time we get one, we are going to roll it here. Once the rolls are done, and I have a live document over here that's going to calculate all of those numbers for us. So we'll roll it. I fill out the personality profile, and as we're going to use the tablet to upload to the website. How about that? That is a much more brilliant idea, and it saves me such a headache. Install. So another thing that we have the opportunity to do is, as we display the dice, I also have the ability to set our color mode. So if we want to see the dice and anything else, we can, but I kind of like this as best. I also have our dice box on a scale here, and that is going to allow us at the end to kind of show off something like our legendary dice to prove that they actually register. Because as you'll see here, if I go and wait for this to turn on, if I zero out our dice box and put one of our standard regular die on it, 0.2 ounces is all we get from this singular die, even if it registers. Sometimes it doesn't even register. But if, and this box isn't very heavy, but if I put this on there, we're at 0.9 ounces. So as we said, our two artifact die come in at 0.9 ounces with the box, so probably about 0.6 ounces. Those are definitely of a higher quality. So that's why we have this here if we need to. So once I have the shop ready and open, we will begin with our first die to work. Let me get logged in to the website so I can get ready to post them. We'll have pictures and we'll have everything. I really should have cleaned this up just a little bit, shouldn't I? This is the problem, right? What is going on? Hold on, chat. Something's very wrong here. That's why. Nope, your host is an idiot. You completely installed the wrong app. Now we're back on track, and I will be right back. Whoa, I almost fell out of my seat there. Okay, so products ready to go. All right, that's everything I needed. The shop's ready to go. Live stream's ready to go, and the profile is ready to go. So today we are going to start with a standard classic. Do the one that we've already seen. We'll do our purple and black. So we're going to call that, we're just going to call that purple with black. So that's how the description is going to work. It's going to be a description of like the color and then with whatever text. So you'll see that one says milky white with gold. and that would be something like that. That would be our milky white with gold. You can see it has like that milky color, gold lettering. That's how the descriptions will work. So this will be purple with black. That will go on. That will be going on the personality profile. And we can now begin, everybody. So purple with black. And we begin. Maybe in the future I will wear gloves. I don't know. I don't have a good set of gloves that wouldn't make me sweat. So today and for this first 15, you'll have to abide by it. But perhaps I will be able to get... Ooh, let me go get a little like polishing rag real quick, and then I can do that at the end. All right. So... I will do that, give it a nice little polish, and I can wash my hands off before we roll. And I even have, I thought I did in here. This looks a little bit messy. Oh, well, I thought I had it in here. We do. All right, if we're gonna do it, we gotta do it proper, right? This dice box sat for a little bit. So, there we go. Perfectly clean dice box, perfectly polished dice. Perfectly polished. Let's not kid ourselves. They're wiped down. But hey, that's all right. Personalities are what matter. Dice box is now ready. All right, so we have our first purple with black. Purple with black, ready to go. Let's see here. So, ready to go, and let's begin with the personality profile's very first personality profile. The Dice Profiler's first personality profile. And here we go. We begin with an 8. The 8 is the very first number of any series of the profiler. And that's 16. Let's go. All right. So, doubling its first number, an 8 again. Okay, can anyone already see a pattern? Do we have bets yet? That's a 19. So, this is a swing die for sure. We have a 5. So are we talking like, is this thing just going to go back? We have a 20. We have our very first 20. It took 6 rolls to get our very first 20 in. Now this thing is going back and forth, back and forth. Is that what this thing is going to be? That is a 16. So that, wow. Okay, yeah, we are going back and forth so quick. But that was the first 2 big numbers. Let's see if it keeps it going. What do we got there? That one is a 4. So it is definitely swinging hard. We have an 11. What else do we have? What else? We have a 1. We have our very first 1. Took us 10 rolls to get to our very first 1. We have a 15. Wow, look at those swings, everybody. It's like every other one. Look at that, 16. So 2 large ones in a row, but we are getting back and forth here. An 11. Let's go. Let's just keep going. Let's go. 3. We are coming up to our first 20 rolls. That is an 8. Man, it is loving those 8s. I think 8's going to be its number. That is a 6. Let's see, does it swing back? Does it swing back heavy? That is a 12. It isn't not a big swing, but it is back on the high side. That is a 16. Another 16. Do we go back to 8? That's another 16. And roll number 20, the 5th way through, it is a 1. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Roll number 10 and roll number 20 were both 1 on this die. What are we feeling? How does everyone feel about this personality so far? We are 1/5 of the way through the very first die. Let's keep it rolling. All right, we have a 13. Let's go all the way across. And that gave us a 9. All right, let's try that again. What about all the way across the board? That's a 6. Let's see, how about, let's do all of these across the board. Let's see how it feels. That's a 10. Let's roll these all the way across, That is a 3. That is a 3 if I've ever seen one. Let's go all the way across again. Now we're at a 9. So I'm not thinking this thing likes to be rolled very far. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's an 18. That was uninhibited 18. So maybe it just doesn't like hitting the back wall. Look at that, 16. So that's the problem. It likes to be rolled, but it doesn't like to hit the back wall. 5. Look, it hit the back wall and immediately dropped to a 5. Is that what you're telling me, Di? You hit the back wall and you do me another 1. Now let's see. Can I not hit the back wall? And what do you give me? You give me an 8. Okay, you weren't really happy you didn't go that far. What about a little bit further? You hit the back wall and you give me a 14. That's fine. Okay, you just don't know what you want. All right, 13 for being rolled halfway. Let's go. Another long roll across. That's a 1. What was wrong with that one? What, you don't like the long rolls anymore? That's an 8. You like 8s, don't you? This is gonna be an 8 all around. That's another 3. Coming up to roll number 40 here in a second. That's 15. We are gonna keep on rolling. That is a 2. Roll number 19 right here. That is a 9. And roll number 40, or that was roll number 39. Roll number 40 is a 12. All right, how are we feeling? We are 2/5 of the way through. This is very interesting. I'm really curious where it's going to end up. 8s seem to be its primary number. So now let's do a different roll for these next 20. We're going to do some drop rolls. How about that? Let's see how the dice likes some good old-fashioned drop rolls. Boom, that is a 10. All right, do you like that? Is that what you like now? Do you want to be just treated rough? No? Oh, that was out. That was our first outage. Okay, should we calculate those? Let me know in the chat if we should calculate dropouts, but I think we'll just be nicer in the future. That is another 10. Oh, this is going to be interesting. That is a 19. Okay, let's do the more drop testing. That is a 13. Maybe it likes it. Maybe it likes it rough. Maybe that's what it wants. 6. Maybe it's gonna enjoy the drop test. 11. Let's go more dropping. That is a 14. That is an 8. That is a 17. That is a 9. Let's see, we got an 8 again. Oh, come on. 8's gotta be this favorite number. Taking bets. Take bets in the chat. What's its favorite number gonna be? My guess is 8. 13. More drop test. 10. So it's liking being dropped. I'm thinking like so far it's not upset with it. That's a 16. That's a 16. That's a 16. That's a 13. That's a 12. Yes, this dice loves to be dropped. Look at that. That's a 5. Maybe that's what I should do in the future is expand the card to like have like little things that we come up with. This one likes to get dropped. And that is a 4. That is now it's 60 rolls. All right. So we've done some just regular rolls. We've done some long rolls. We've done drop rolls. Let's do a speed round. I'm just going to use my left hand and I'm just going to roll and calculate as fast as I can to see if this is more of a speed demon. All right, here we go. First speed round. I'm ready and let's go. So we have a 12 and we have a 15 and we have a 16 and we have a 2. I gotta change that. 16, hang on. 16 to fast 12 11 9 that's 9 19 5 13 6 15. Come on. 14 2 2 2 3 4 9 4. Okay, this thing does not like to be rolled fast, everybody. Take your time, be gentle, and let's prove that. Let's now do the last 20, and let's do, we'll do, these will be the categories. We'll do a little bit of a warm-up roll, okay? This is going to be, I think, the standard roll for everybody. Let's see how it likes to be pampered, all right? That is a 3. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it just wants to be thrown around. I don't know. Let's charge it up again. We'll roll it. That's an 11. All right, so charge and roll. That's an 11. Let's go charge and roll. That's a 6. Where's your 8s? Maybe it gave up on 8s. Maybe it doesn't like 8s anymore. That's a 20. Hello. Let's go. Da-da-da-da. That's a 19. Come on. Charge and roll, charge and roll. 2. All right. We're learning as we go. 15. I got to remember these types. We're going to have categories of rolls now. I like that. That's another 20. I think that'll be another interesting aspect. That's a 3. Let's go. That is a 7. 2. That is a 3. That's a 19. I think it likes being charged. It's not doing too bad. It's going back to its original flip-flopping. That's an 11. Because that first round, it was just going back and forth, back and forth. That's a 5. Let's go again. That's a 15. Okay, it's going back to its flip-floppy nature. Maybe that's what this dice is. Maybe this die just likes to go back and forth. Maybe this is your true down-the-middle die. Doesn't favor anything. Let's go. Final charge, everybody. Final 100th roll of the very first die. It is a 3. Okay. We now have it, everyone. We now have purple with black is now done. Let's unravel it. I gotta, oof. Let's talk about it here. So this is part of our classics series. So this is a classic die. This is purple. With black. Our episode today is a 1725, and I will write the timestamp at the end. But let's talk about these stats, everybody. Place your bets now on the following stats. Well, the first two you probably already know. The first number rolled was an 8. The last number rolled was a 3. The sum of all of the rolls, its power score, its strength score, is 982. Its average was a 10. Its power score is a 10. It rolled 3 20s. It rolled 4 1s. Its favorite number, here's your bets, everybody. What do you think the favorite number turned out to be? Was it 8? Was I correct? I wasn't. Its favorite number was 16. Didn't see that one coming. No, I didn't. Its hated numbers. It has 3 hated numbers, everyone. Those hated numbers, they were all rolled equally as few times, but rolled at least once each. Those numbers are 7, 17, and 18. The stickiest number, the number it rolled the most times in a row, was a 2. And it had no forbidden numbers. This die in 100 rolls rolled every single number at least once. So 0 forbidden numbers. And there you are, everybody. I know it's backwards, but this is officially the very first personality profile from the Dice Profiler to pair with this die. This will be going up on the shop here in just a minute. I will be taking some pictures. It will go up on our shop now. And then we will get to our next die. Give me a moment. Items up. That's ready to go. Let's move on to dice number 2. We're done with this one. Give it one nice little polish. Once again, there's the personality of our very first die. And we're going to move on to, let's go one step up. Let's do one of our prestige die. Ooh, okay. Let's do this one. All right, so for our next one here, we have this very nice looking golden Milky with black. Golden Milky die. Very nice looking, almost translucent. The number quality is phenomenal. So it's one of the things that we look for when we try to categorize each of these is not just base price, but also quality of the make. And a big thing for us is those numbers, how rich and deep they are, the color matching, as just well as just the general feel. One thing I like about dice like this is the milkiness doesn't appear to be on the surface. So this, even though it's not translucent, that milkiness feels to be multi-layered. And that's one of the things that we really enjoy and see, which is why our prestige dice have a little bit higher of a quality standard that we look for when we're trying to figure these ones out, because we want those to really stand out. Of course, we have to remember we have standard rolling. We had long rolls, drop rolls, speed rolls, and charged rolls. So those are the 5 categories of rolls that we're going to move forward with now. So the first ones are just going to be some standard, we're not going to think about it much, the first 20. Then we're going to move into long rolls, which will be across the way. I guess standard will just be, short. Long will be long. Drop rolls. Then we'll have the speed rolls where I'm just going as fast as I can. And then the charge rolls where we actually charge it up. So those will be the categories of rolls. I feel like that will nice and smooth everything out. So let's begin with our second dice of today. The golden milky, yes, the golden milky with black die, number 2 for today. Starting with our standard rolls. Let's go. Roll number 1. What are we looking at? 19. Look at that coming out strong. Let's go. And then a 1. Wow. Okay. So that's what this one's going to be, everyone. This one's going to be one of those. A 7. Okay. Can we come back from that 1 right out the gate? There's another 1. Is this going to be one of those, doesn't know what to do? Let's see. 15. All right. So 7. Not too bad. 13. Let's go 3. All right, so we're not getting like terrible numbers here. Those ones though, like what was it thinking to come out with 1 so strong? We have an 11 on that one. We have a 19. Okay. So it's figuring itself out. It's new to the game. Doesn't know what it wants to be yet. 14. That's what we're here for. We're here to get all of these out of the way, right? Because who doesn't do this? Who doesn't buy a die and immediately try to get a few rolls out of the way, right? But that's what we're here for. We're here to figure that out for you before you buy it. So that's 10. We're coming up to its 20th roll here. That's a 6. We have 3 more. We're on number 17. That's 14. Or no, that was 18. This is number 19. That's a 17. And roll number 20. What do we think it's going to be? A 2. All right. So overall, this has been a pretty low scoring die, but that's okay. It could come back. All right. So now we're going to switch to our long rolls. Let's see if this thing likes to be treated a little bit better with some nice long gentle rolls. All right. So 19. That was what it rolled on its very first roll. So we'll see if it has a repeat and tanks itself, or let's see if it likes these long rolls a little bit better. That's a 1. Ladies and gentlemen, I kid you not, the first and second roll matched the 21st and 22nd roll. I kid you not, could not have done that if I planned it. All right, maybe it's just going to be that way. Then it's a 5. Last time it rolled a 7 when it was at number 3. So this is mimicking its first 20, oddly. That's a 14. Well, last time that was a 1, so that's okay. So maybe we're breaking the trend, but let's go another nice long roll. 12. Let's do another 1. Okay, that's a 7. All right, so maybe this is just a temperamental die. Maybe this just doesn't like anyone or anything, and maybe this is the trickster die. Ooh, maybe that's what this one is. Maybe this one you give to one of your rogues, or you give to someone, a problem person at your table, or you give to an unlucky NPC, and it looks like it's going to be fancy, just like the NPC. They look like they're going to be great, and they look like they're going to be fun. That is a 6. No, wait, is that a 16 or an 18? That's an 18. Never mind. It looks like they're going to be, really difficult, and then this die comes out, and it just, tanks them. That's a 1. All right, so that is the second one of its 20 through 40. That is a 4. What else are we going to see from this die? That is a 1, everybody. That is another 1. This die does not like it today. That is a 20. I think, is that its first 20? That is its first 20. It took 30, or no, I'm sorry. It took, where are we at? Hold on. Why am I having such a difficulty with this? Took 36 rolls in order to do that. That's crazy. No, sorry, not 36. Yeah, 36. Crazy, 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 crazy. So that was its first 20. Let's keep rolling the long way. That's a 17 if I've ever seen one. So let's keep on going. Let's see, does it like the long rolls? 19, it's recouping all of the bad luck from before. That's a 9. 2 more long rolls, everybody. 2 more long rolls, then we move to the drop rolls. That's a 7. All right, last long roll. Everybody take your bets. What's it gonna be? That's a 1. Okay, that is a 1. This thing is not liking life today. Let's see if we can piss it off a little bit more with some drop rolls. All right, it's first. All right, this is going to be its third series of rolls, third series of 20s with drops. Let's go. That's a 16. Do you like it rough, or do you just always start your rolls strong? That is a 20, everybody. Look at that, 16, 20. Does this die just like it rough? That's an 11. So far, it's happy with it. Maybe that's what you need here. That's a 3. Maybe I'm talking too much. I don't know. We'll find out. We still have more. That's a 12. Okay, only 1 bad roll on this set so far. That's another 20 so far. That is the best run of 20s we've seen. That's a 2. Seen with this die specifically. Last die had a few better. That is a 12. Let's go. More drops. We're almost halfway through. That is a 4. Halfway through. Let's do the next 10. 17. All right. Let's do another drop. That is a 15. Another drop. That's an 11. Drop. That's a 1. We have an 11. 5. Keep it going. Keep it going. 4. It's not liking it anymore. This die is just a little bit sneaky. You never know what it's going to do. 4. Maybe we call this one the true balance die. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of all over the place. All right. This is 2, 4. This is number 60. 10. Okay, so I think it liked the drops a little bit more than the rest of them. So far we're doing pretty good on that. You know, I might try to move some things around here just to make this recording easier for me. Not the recording of the stream, the actual like documentation. Oh yeah, that's much nicer to have it closer to me. Okay. Oh, we're even on the bad lighting. There we go. Better lighting. All right. So now we are on the speed run category. So I am just going to pick it up and roll it as fast as I can and document as best as I can with my 10-digit skills. So let's see if we can do this. Ready and go. So that is a 6. That is a 2. That is a 19. A 10. 7. 15, 12, 9, 6, 5, 19, 7, 11, 6, 2, 8, 7, 19, 17, 10. Oh, that last one doesn't count. So that's where it goes there. And then we do the last one, which are all going to be charged rolls. So these are the ones we're going to give it a little bit of love as we go through these. So 17. These are the last 20 rolls for this dice. We have 12. I'm actually going to take my ring off for this so I don't smack up the dice while I'm charging them with my left hand. Let's do 8. Charge it up. Let's, 7. 20. There we go. That's a little bit better. 16? No, 18. I always misread that one. Let's see, do you like the right hand any different? That's an 8. Maybe you don't like the right hand any different. That's a 16. Or yeah, that one's the 16. Let's try. That's a 6. Maybe you are just balanced. Maybe this one just likes to be balanced and likes itself. 17. That's a 12. Coming up to the last ones here. That's another 12. Oh, that's another 12. That's a 19. 18. Here we go, here we go. That's a 2. We're coming up to the last ones. Let's switch hands. That is a 16. What do you think its favorite number is going to be, everyone? That is a 9. Last two, here we go. Number 99, that's a 7. And take your bets. What is roll 100 going to be? A 5. Let's go. Okay. That is dice number 2. Ready to go. Let's fill out the profile and find out what exactly this did. So this is going to be our prestige die. Yeah. Prestige. We were calling this one golden and milky with black. A1725 is the stream today. The timestamp will be done once we figure it out. So let's talk about what golden milky with black got. Let's see here. So its first roll was a 19. Its last roll was a 5. The sum, its power score, or its strength score, is 1021. So 10. Nope. Oh, well, this is why we have extras, because... actually, no. I think that's fine. It's such a small area to write in anyway, so... No, I don't want to be that guy. So, that one's out. We write a new one. Why writing these by hands is a little bit nerve-wracking because you don't want to mess up too much. Okay. 2, 5. All right. So first number 19, last number 5. 1021 was its strength score. Its average is a 10, so its power score is a 10. Number of 20s rolled, 4. Number of 1s rolled, 7. Its favorite... Oh, wow. Hang on. Something's wrong here. So my formula isn't working real quick, so let me do something real quick. Hang on. Thank you for your patience. These are those growing pains we keep talking about. They will continue to be a problem until we perfect this. So, wasn't as easy as copying and pasting, which is totally fine. So what I need to do... All right, so not to worry, we still have everything. We still have everything we've done. I just need to fix something real quick. So if I do that, you're still broken. Why are you still broken? Okay, how about this? How about this? How about this? All right, I'm smart enough to fix this an unconventional way. So we're going to do it the unconventional way. back to it then. Yeah. Let's go. So we have a favorite number is 7. Our hated number is 13. The sticky number for our golden Milky is going to be 12. And also, as we expect this to be common, this one does not have any forbidden numbers. This rolled every single number. So there it is, everybody. You can now see this is the personality profile for our new first prestige die. So let me go ahead and get this photoed and ready, and we will get to die number 3 of 15. All right, on to die number 3, because once again, first prestige die is complete and up on the shop if you were interested. Let's move on. So we've done a regular die, we've done a prestige die. You know what, let's just keep going up one more level. We'll go through all the levels. Let's do the legendary next. So this one's actually going to be a legendary set. This is going to be a Chessex brand set, but of our legendary category, as not only is it going to be a complete set of die, of course, the personality profile will only be done for the D20, but what makes this so legendary and so magical is that these are glow-in-the-dark die. So if you want a personality profile for the glow-in-the-dark dice, today is your day, because that's what we are going to figure out. We are going to be figuring out exactly how this is going to work out, and look at how gorgeous that is. Look at those colors and just how they pop. Love that. And as a quick note of the rest of them, look at that. That is absolutely gorgeous. So this is going to be our very first legendary set with a D20. Let's move forward. This is going to be... All right, so resetting our counters here. First legendary dice, and what are we gonna call this? We're gonna call this a blue purple, or is that blue pink? That's more pinkish. Yeah. So how about aqua pink glow with, what do you think, Chad? Is that blue or teal? I don't know. I don't know my colors. Is that lettering blue or teal, or what do you think that lettering is? Because that feels like the inside feels more like an aqua color, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I have it backwards. Maybe the text is aqua and teal's on the inside. I don't know. Correct me if you know. I want to make it sound correct. But what is this one going to be? This one's definitely going to be like a glow. We're going to put glow in it. But let's figure out. I think it's gonna. Yeah, I think we'll do. No, maybe the dye is teal and the writing is more like aqua. So yeah, so we'll go teal pink glow with aqua. Also just sounds better that way. So teal pink that glows in the dark. And with aqua lettering, let's begin. This is going to be, once again, our very first legendary die that we roll and go up on the site. And this will be number 3 of 15. We have so many to go, everybody. We have so many to go. And here we are. The very first roll. What do you think it's going to be? Let's begin. It's a 3. My favorite number. Let's go. A die after my own heart. That's a 13. So 313, can't go wrong. If it hits 20, maybe this die is just for me. That's a 1. This die is not for me. Next one is a 9. Let's go. Roll number 5. That is a 15. Let's keep it moving. That is a 14. Let's go. That's a 20. All right. Only took 7 rolls to get to its first 20. That's a 4. That is a 3. Get through the first 20 pretty nice. All right, that's a 17. We have an 18, staying in those high numbers. I like it. 15. All right, I want to see this thing have a great strength score. There's that 14. Man, stay high in the teens. Oh, there's a 7. All right, it's always going to end up, dropping, but let's see if we can get some more teens out of it. That's a 9. Come on, we want to get some more ones on the board. 17, there we go. Come on, 4 more rolls, let's go. More high teens, 9. Maybe get 120 in there. That's a 13. No, we want closer to a 20. Closer to a 20, that's a 5. And it's 20th roll, what do you think it's going to be? It's a 14. All right. So not bad, not terrible. Waiting for something a little bit more, but let's switch to its long rolls and see if it likes it anymore. Moving forward. Let's go. So that is a 16. Starting out strong. That's a 2. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't like the long rolls. 17. Maybe it's just flip-flopping. Maybe this is just where it feels comfortable to be itself. That's a 20, everyone. Let's go. 20. That's a 2. That was kind of a flop, though, so it didn't really get to roll. That is a 19, everyone. There we go. Maybe it does like those nice, soft, long rolls. It's an 18. Just right off the hand, nice and slow. That's a 10. Double digits. It's only done 2 twice. That's a 15. Oh, this may be the way it likes to be rolled. Everyone pay attention. That's a 16. All right, you got to just let it roll off the fingers. That's what this die likes. Look at that. 12. All double digits except for 2 of them. What do we got? We got a 7. So that's 3 single digits. Everything else on this row has been so far double. Right off the bat. Okay, that's 6. See, now it's messing with me. Now, come on, just go back to the rolls that you like. That's a 3. Go back to being likable. There we go, 16. Get that power score up. That's a 7. That's not going to do anything for your strength score, but come on, we got to get that power score up too. 16. Let's go. Move forward. That's another 16. It likes those long gliding rolls. You really got to let this thing have it. That's a 6. Maybe not. Maybe not. Last one. This is number 20 or number 40. That's an 8. Okay, so now we move on to the drop rolls. Let's see if this thing likes to be dropped. That's a 17, starting out strong. Last time you did that, and then you tanked yourself. That's an 18. Okay, keeping it strong. Nope, off the table. That's the second time today. It's a 9. Nope, we're gonna do a drop, not a roll. That's an 11. Do another drop. That's a 2. Okay. And remember, we're always trying to test. Oh, that's a 1. We're always trying to test all the different styles of rolling. That's why we do this. So that's 10. That's why we do 20 of each standard type of roll that you're gonna find. That's another 10. Number 6. Let's go. That is a 15. That was the first 10. Now we're doing the next 10. Drop rolls. That's a 20. Okay. Got a 20 on that drop. That's a 6. That's a 7. That is a 7. That is a 6. So it's not liking the drops as much. That's an 11. It's trying to get up there, but I don't know. That's a 9. That 20 is not compensating for all these single digit rolls. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think it likes to be dropped. That's a 4. Last 20 drop. That's a 15. Okay. So it tried. Let's see speed rolls now. I am just going to do as fast as I can as I pound these numbers. So that is a 3. That is a 12. That is a 14. That is an 18. That is a 13. I gotta go back. That's a 13. That's a 20. That's a 14. Not 104. That's a 14. That's 6. That's a 9. That's a 10. Excuse you. Hold on. Program's being a jerk. That's a 10. 3. 5. 16. See, this one's just no preamble. We're just rolling as fast as I can type. Excuse you. 13. 2. 2. 13. 2 more. 14. And 11. All right, so last rolls are going to be all charged rolls. So let's see how it feels being charged. 15. 19. Okay. 11. Liking those double numbers. Got to get them double digits up. That's a 1. That's not good for everything. That's a 16. It's an 18. Okay. Okay. So other than that one, so far, it's kind of liking the charge up here. That's a 2. But when it doesn't like it, it really doesn't like it. That's a 3. That's a 16. That's a 3. All right, all right. Wait, that's a 1. That's 2 ones on this one. That's a 4. We're getting down to the wire here. That's an 8. That's a 5. It's not. Maybe we'll switch hands. We'll switch hands for these last like 6 rolls. That's an 18. That's a 13. That's a 4. I don't know if it's coming back. That's a 15. We have a 7, and it's final roll number 100. 3. All right. That is it. That is what we have, and this is going to be fascinating to think about. All right. So we have our very first legendary die. Legendary. We are calling this Teal Pink. Teal Pink Glow with Aqua. All right. VOD number A1725. Timestamp will be later. Now, let's talk about what the Teal Aqua, or the Teal Pink Glow in the Dark with Aqua lettering did. So, its first number, everybody, this is a die after my own heart, even though it didn't do that great, but its first number was a 3. Its 100th number was a 3. Look at that. Started and ended the same. Its sum, or its strength score, is 1040. The average that it rolled is a 10. So this is great. A lot of these die, if their average is 10, I think that's a good sign, right? That does mean that they're really well balanced. So I think that's going to be fun to see an average really outstrike 10. Number of 20s that were rolled, 4. Number of 1s rolled, 4. Its favorite numbers were 3 and 16. Its hated numbers, 8, 12, and 19. Its sticky numbers, wow, it had 2, 7, 10, and 16 were sticky. And it had no forbidden numbers. So, everybody, here's our very first legendary die. There's its personality profile to go along with it. We're going to go ahead and take some pictures, and then we're going to move right along. We are all good to go. So the legendary is now up there. Okay. So legendary Teal Pink Glow in the Dark is now up. MisfitGamerStudios.com/dice profile. Don't forget the hyphen. Yeah, we've done a classic, we've done a prestige, we've done a legendary. Let's do our 2 unique ones because we only have one of each. This is going to be our very first companion set. Companion sets are mini dice, and we have a mini dice set for this one. So this is what we'll be doing today, right now, is our very first companion set, these mini die. But of course, as always, only the D20 gets the personality profile. But these are absolutely amazing looking. They're awesome, perfect for set for companion die. Where's our D20? They're so small. There's our D20, everybody. Look how tiny and cute it is, but it's gorgeous. Look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. And here are the rest of them. Let me get you a better light for that. There we are. Look at those. So this is what's going to be up for grabs as our very first companion die. All right. So companion die, and let's look at these a little bit. These are, whew, I'm gonna call that a galaxy blue background because it's black blue with sparkles. So we're gonna call that galaxy. Ooh, galaxy with crimson. That's, yeah. Perfect. Galaxy with crimson will be what we call that one. All right, are we ready for the very first companion die? Look how tiny it is. Let's put it up against a standard D20 real quick. Eee! All right, that's what we're dealing with. Let's begin with the very first roll of the companion D20. Boop. It's a 9. All right. 14. This is very sticky. Like, it's hard to roll out of the fingers. That's a 2. That looks like a 16. Yes, that is a 16. That is an 8. 3. 7. 13. 6. And for number 10, an 18. All right, that's the first 10. Let's keep on going with the standard roll. That's our first 20. It took 11 rolls to get to our first 20. That is a 13. A little difficult to read these from a distance. 3, especially when the light just shines them out. That's an 8. That is another 20. Let's go. 2 20s in the first 20. That's nice. That's a 1. That's a 10. That's a 16. And that is another 20. That is 3 20s in the first 20 rolls. These dice are hot, hot, hot. All right, moving on to the long rolls. Let's move on to the next 20 with long rolls. That's a 1. This thing doesn't like it. It's too small, right? It has to work twice as hard. That's a 20. Look at that. That is a 20 right up the gate. Right, second roll. That's a 2. 122. Are you going to do like a 19? Or are we just going to go back and forth here? That's a 9. You were tricking me. You thought it was going to be an 18. 17. Let's go. Nice long roll. 7. Let's figure out what these want. 9. As we always do here. We are on the second 20 list. That is 9. All right. Coming up to roll 19. Roll 39. That is a 6. Roll number 40. Nope. Sorry, that was a short roll. Long roll. That's a 13. Gotta do the right roll. That is a 19. That is a 17. That is a 4. We have a 5. Ooh, is that a 10? I think that's a 10. No, it's 17. That glare. Another 17. 8. What else do we get from this guy? Number 10. 2 more for these rolls. That's a 14. And last long roll. What does it want? It's an 8. All right. So now we are moving over to the drop rolls. Let's see how this guy likes to be dropped. That's a 5. We're looking at a 19. Okay. Definitely all over the place here. 15. That's a 14. We have a 20. Okay, there's another 20. There's another 19. Hey, drop rolls might be the thing for this. 16 has to do the least work, right? Kind of like, that's a 15. People with small legs, they have to, do twice as hard for the same distance. Maybe this likes getting dropped. That's another 20. Doesn't have to do any work. It just sits there. 14. Let's go. That's an 18. That's another 18. That's a 6. That's a 10. Lots of double digits. There's only 2 single digits. That's okay, 3 single digits. That was a 2. That was a 13. So far, the dropped rolls are doing the best right now. That's a 7. That's a 6. And a 19. And last drop roll, we have a 16. Yep. and a 16. So yeah, it liked getting dropped. That was nice. So time for the speed roll challenge. I'm gonna go as fast as I can and type them as fast as I can. Ready and go. We have a 5. We have a 19. We have an 18. 10. 13. 18. 18. 18. 6. 9. 17. 12. 19. 17. 13. 8. 1. 7. Thought that was another 1 for a second. 3. And 9. Okay. Did not like getting speed rolled. That was a lot of single digits there. So we'll have to keep in mind for that. And the final one is going to be our charged rolls. So let's give this thing a little bit of love, a little bit of charge, and we'll see what happens. That's a 13. All right, 13. And we have 10. Yes, that is a 10 of an 18. A little bit of love on that. That's a 17. A little bit more love on that. That's a 3. And that's a 10. Yeah, this one's liking it. I think this one likes to be coddled a little bit. 10, that was a 13. That was a 1. Didn't like that one too much. Maybe I didn't roll it enough. That was a 4. Yeah, I can't drop it too much. That's a 16. 16 and 18 are such fine print. That is a 6. We have a 3. 13. 19. 19, nice number there. It's 19. 9. We have a 20. We have a 1. Okay, maybe this die is going to be like small numbers for a small die. Is that what I'm thinking? 3 more. Last 3. That's a 1. Yeah, small numbers for a small die. There's a lot of 1s on this. There's a 10. Yep, that's a 10. And final number for the companion D20. 5. All right. Oh my gosh, we actually have our very first forbidden number, everybody. Oh no. We have our very first forbidden number with our mini D20. Like, that's how small it is. All right, so let's talk about this. This is our very first companion. We were calling this Galaxy with Crimson. VOD is 1725. All right, let's talk about these numbers for the mini D20. This first number was a 9. Last number was a 5. Its strength score, or its sum, was 1126. Might be the strongest one we've had so far. Its power score was an 11, or its average. Number of 20s rolled, 7. Number of 1s rolled, 6. Favorite number, 13. Most hated number, the number rolled at least once, but the least. There are 3. We have 4, 12, and 15. The stickiest number, the one rolled most consecutively, was 18. And we have our very first forbidden number. Took us 4 die to find it. But out of 100 rolls, our companion die never rolled an 11. So it has a forbidden number of 11. There you go. The very first forbidden number. So let's get our photos and we'll move on to our Colossal die, our oversized. All right, that is 4 items. We have a companion, a classic, a prestige, and a legendary all on the website now, misfitgamerstudios.com/dice profiles. Don't forget the hyphen and it'll take you right there. So, your Galaxy with Crimson companion die with profile. Now live on the site. Now it is time to move on to our Colossal die, the first of its kind. All right, will even come with its own box here. But let's give this thing a nice little polish up and we will show you all what we're dealing with today. So our first Colossal die of today. Ooh, where is it? Where's our official D20 symbol? There we go. So this is Tales of Valiant style die. Looks absolutely gorgeous. I really enjoy what we're dealing with here. This definitely glitter aqua is definitely what I'm feeling here. Glitter aqua for sure. With glitter aqua with silver. So this is the first in our Colossal series. Standard D20 for scale. And so we will begin as always. As I set up the counter here. And we will get going. Just make sure I get this counter ready and set up. So we are dealing with our first Colossal. Yes, our first Colossal die. And then we're calling this glitter aqua with silver. Perfect. All right. So here we go, and we shall begin with the first 20 standard rolls. Drop rolls, charge rolls, long rolls, speed rolls. There we go. All right. So first roll, let us begin. That is a 13. Man, that thing just... I'm actually gonna, just in case I ruin the scale for later, we're gonna remove the scale for now. I'll put those right up here, put those right behind, just little examples of the cards. All right, so 13, let's continue. Oof, that thing just drops like a brick. All right, 8, no wait, that's an 8, right? Yeah, that is an 8. All right, this thing just drops. Okay, that's a 1. Here we go. Number 5. Fifth roll is a 2. So far, not rolling really great at higher numbers. But we'll see. We have 4 more categories of rolls. We'll see. We're only on the first 20 right now. 7. It's the first rolls of its life, everybody. It doesn't know what it wants to be yet. All right, we have 14. Roll number 12. We have 12. And we have... Ooh, I believe that's a 19. That is a 19. Okay, so it does know how to roll high. It does. That's a 12. And that's a 2. No, I'm sorry. Both of those were 2, not 12. I don't know what I was saying. That is a 16. Last couple here, 19. Down to the wire. That's a 16. Come on. Can we get another 20 in here? Actually, can we get 120 in the first 20 rolls? That is a 19. And the last of the first 20 rolls... it's a 7. All right, so those are the first 20 rolls. Now let's switch up to do long rolls and see if this prefers a gentler, longer roll to it. That one's going to be a 14. That one is an 11. Long rolls seem to be doing so good so far. That one didn't roll. That one just kind of dropped. But I think when it could, when it can roll across the table, it tends to go high. That's our first 20. It only took us like 35 rolls. That's fine. That's a 6. I'm starting to think this one wants to actually tumble on the ground. Look at that, 10. Every time it rolls, 16 seems to get a higher number. That's what we want to see. That's what we want to see. That's a 6. So we're just going to keep giving it its long rolls. Every time it drops short, it seems to drop a small number. So nope. Now it's just dropping small numbers all over the place. Doesn't matter if I'm rolling them long, short, dropping it. Doesn't seem to matter. It just doesn't want to do much. But I haven't seen any major consistency other than low rolls, so it's still pretty well balanced. I'm not getting any, like, you know, unluckiness to it. That's a 9, and it's 40th roll, 20th long, 15. So now we're going to move on to the drop roll test as always. So 20 drop rolls coming up right now. And you're going to hear how dense this thing is. Actually, we didn't even weigh this one because that was the idea that we were supposed to do with this thing before we started rolling it. So this D20 is a whopping 1 ounce, a whole ounce. Right, my ounces, right? Yeah. But we're gonna move the scale for now. All right, drop test. Let's go. That's a 7. That's a 2. That is a 19. Okay, so it seems like it might like to get dropped. It's definitely keeping that. It was a 16. That's a 12. We have another 20. We have a 9. Maybe dropping it's the way to go. 13. That's a 9. I mean, hey, our third off the table. Let's go. 7. We should do like predictions at the beginning of chat of how many times we'll do that through stream. That's our third one. 17. Let's go. 3. We're oh, that's our fourth one with the big die. That's another 20. Hey, it's the first time we've seen two 20s in the same roll speed or in the same roll category. That's 19. I think dropping it's the way to go. I think it likes to just hear itself thud on the ground. That's another, so it was a 19, a 14, another 14, and roll number 60 is a 20. Wow, that was 3 20s in that series. I definitely think that this guy likes it rough a little bit. So now it's time for the speed round. I'm going to roll as fast as I can as I document these. Let's go. That is a 13. That is a 3. That's a 6. That's an 8. That's an 18. I said that's an 18. That's a 3. That's a 5. That is a 10. 7. That's a 4. That's an 8. That's a 5. That's a 7. 17. 11. 2. 5. 3, but that was a 1 for a second. 2 and 11. Okay, that was it for the speed round. Didn't seem to like that too much. That was a lot of single-digit rolls. So now we are going to do to the charged roll phase. This is the last 20, all the way from 80 to 100. So let's see if it prefers to be charged. All right, that is a 19 right out the gate. Maybe this is what it's been waiting for, everybody. Maybe it just needs a little bit of love. Oh, hey, that is our first no call. That is the first time it was actually janky. So that's a first. Colossal's getting a first. That's a 16. Let's go. 16, 13. It's jumped off the table 3 times. It's had its first no guarantee roll 4 times off the table. Maybe this is the die. It's the true Misfit die, everybody, from Misfit Gamer Studios. Let's go. That is a 19. Let's keep it moving. Keep it moving. That's an 8. We're burning through these charge rolls. That's an 11. We have an 8. So number 9 there. All right. And 10 more rolls to go after this. All right, these are the final 10 rolls, all going to be charged. That's 11. What else do we got? What else do you want from us? That's a 3. Let's switch hands for a couple of these. That's a 5. I don't know. This one doesn't seem too strong. That's an 18. Oh, that's 5th time off the table. Look at that. 15. That's a 16. That's a 14. That's a 2. 2 more charged. That's a 19. And the final 100 roll, a 2. And there we have it. We have yet another personality profile done and ready to go for our Colossal die. So let me get another personality profile ready. And let's deal. So our type is Colossal. Our Colossal die. And we are calling this the Glitter Aqua with Silver. So And our VOD today is A1725, which you'll always be able to find on our VOD channel. And let's run through these. So our Colossal die, first number rolled was a 13. Last number rolled was a 2. Its strength score, or the sum, was 1039. Its average or power score is a 10. I think the power score is definitely going to be a good indicator of the balance of this thing. That's for sure. Number of 20s rolled 4. Now, here's the most interesting aspect. Number of 1s rolled 1. So this is definitely not the most unlucky of die. Its favorite number, the one it rolled most, is a 19. So this is definitely a higher rolling die. Its hated number, the number it rolled at least once, but the least, is also a 1. Sticky numbers, it has 3, 2, 10, and 14. These are the numbers it rolled the most consecutively. And it did roll every number on the die, so it has no forbidden numbers. So, ladies and gentlemen, there is our personality profile for our very first Colossal die. Let me go ahead and get these pictures. I will post this onto the website, as always, and you will be able to check this out. Everything's up so far. That is 5 items up and ready to go. So, everybody, the Colossal D20 Glitter Aqua with silver is up on ready to go. That means that we have almost one of every type. We only have one category of die that we have not rolled for. So I think it's time to introduce our final category of die. Our very first artifact die will be stone cut. And it's not necessarily, it's not specifically a ruby, but it does have that ruby-like color to it. But this is our very first artifact. It's absolutely gorgeous. The numbering is phenomenal. There's a texture on it. You can see the coloring. I wish I had like a small flashlight to even see just how translucent it can be. But this is definitely one of my favorites in our collection. Question is, I can't call it ruby because I don't believe this was cut from ruby, but I do need to figure out a good naming structure for that. And it's heavy. Like, look at this. Oh, of course yeah. Look at that. 0.5. That is a half an ounce just by itself. And it's absolutely gorgeous. Like, oh, can you see? Can I get the 7? Can I get like this, like the texture in that text at all? I don't know if I could show off the texture, but it's absolutely gorgeous. This is one of my favorites. So this is going to be our first artifact. Let me get our roll ready, our next profile ready. I'm still trying to think of what I'm going to name this, because I can't call it what it's not. I think it's an agate though. I could just call it red gemstone, but it's definitely, it is stone. Oof, that's so cool. Red stone with gold inlay. Red gemstone with gold, yeah. So this is going to be our first artifact. Yeah. Red gemstone with gold. It's the only one that actually so far holds some weight. So we're going to be very careful when we roll this, because we do not want this to be upset too much. So here we go. The first roll of the artifact die, the red gemstone with gold inlay. Oh, it's heavy. That's 19, starting out strong. This feels weighty. 7. It's a 14. Wow. And this thing is so elegant. Like just look at that 14. Just, it's such a nice text. It's such a nice effect. I really like it when it doesn't look exactly like every other D20 I've seen. Another 14. A 17. I'd be really worried about doing a drop test on this one. 5. You're not supposed to do these like really difficultly. 20. You're supposed to take gemstone and glass. You want to roll gently. That was a 14. That's a 3. That's a 10. That's a 17. That's an 8. That's a 5. 19. 16. 20. 7. 10. And a 19. All right. So our first 20 rolls done. Now we're going to move on to the long rolls. I'm going to also, once again, I'm going to remove the weight just because of, I don't want to damage it by rolling something heavier on it. All right, long roll time. That is a 1. Apparently this thing preferred my shorter, gentler ones. That's a 13. 5. That's 16. 8. 4. 11. 19. 8. Long rolls, it's not doing too well. That's a 3. Let's just change hands for the next 10. That's a 1. Wow, it really just does not like these long rolls. That's a 4. 5. Yeah, it preferred the shorter, gentler rolls. 9. 4. 20. Hey, we at least got a 20 on this one. 19. 19. 11. 11. All right, so it doesn't know how to feel about the long rolls. Now, we're going to do the drop test, but what I'm going to do is, just to make sure there's as little shock on the die as possible, I'm going to create as much of a cushion as possible for this drop test. Just because these are really nice. So, and we're not going to drop them super high. 15. 13. 7. 10. 6. 5. 13. 10. 12. 3 for the first 10 drops. Okay, so it's actually not too bad. It actually doesn't mind being dropped. Let's go the next 10, which is starting with 10. We have another 20 on the board. We have a 3, a 4, a 16, a 1, a 9, a 9, a 2, and another 20. Okay, so that's enough for the drop test. Let's look at speed rolling. So as fast as I can go, as fast as I can calculate, we're just going to pick it up and roll it. No extra frills or anything. Let's go. So 18, 17, 12, 20. Holy shit. 11. Let's go. 9, 7. It's just creeping down. 3, 12, 5, 16, 1, 3, 14, 8, 19, 10, 1, 14, and 4. Wow, okay. Interesting spread there. Very interesting. All right, so now these are the charged rolls. These are the ones that we give it a little bit of love before we finish up. 17, okay, it's liking a little bit of love. We'll do the first 10 with right hand, next 10 with the left hand. It's a 5. That was a 14. That's a 7. 14, okay. 17, we're getting up to roll number 90 here. 7, roll number 88, roll number 89, that's a 2. All right, and then roll number 90, 13. All right, here's the last rolls, everyone. That's a 4. Oh, gotta switch hands, gotta switch hands. 11, 11, 8, 3, 10, 2, 14, 7, 5, and 7. All right, that's it for our first gemstone artifact die. Let's pull out its personality profile and get to writing here, yeah? So, our first artifact die. Its first... Oh, wait, no, I gotta write down the thing. So we are calling this red gemstone. With gold inlay. There we go. Gotta have fancier names for the fancier ones. So, its first... and, of course, its VOD was A1725. So, artifacts. First artifact, it rolled a 19 as its first number. Its last number was a 7. The sum, or its strength score, was 1007. Not the strongest dice we've rolled. Its average, or its power score, is a 10. Number of 20s rolled, 6. Number of 1s rolled, 5. Favorite number rolled, 5. Hated number rolled at least once, but rolled the least. There are 3, 6, 15, 18. Sticky number. Oh, it had a lot of sticky numbers. Oh, it had no forbidden numbers. So sticky numbers are 5, 9, 11, 14, and 19. Wow, that's a lot of sticky numbers. 5, 9, 11, 14, and 19. Never thought the sticky numbers would be so much, but this is our very first artifact die. And excuse me, I see just little imperfections, fine. Our first artifact personality. Let me take photos. We'll get this up on the website. And everything looks good. So, just remember, misfitgamerstudios.com/dice profiles. Don't forget the hyphen. And one last time, everybody, here is your red gemstone artifact die with personality profile. And it is up right now. Now that we have everything up on the website, we have one of every type of category. Let's circle back to finish the rest of these up. So let's go back all the way to some classics, all right? Excuse me. Let's start with this classic right here. So another classic D20. We're gonna call this one Milky White with gold. Milky White with gold, standard, no frills, white die. Nothing too spectacular going on with this one. Doesn't look terrible, but if you'll notice a little bit, let me find a good example here. One of the things that we mentioned before is we're really big on like the finer details. Now, while this does have some swirl to it and it looks kind of nice, it doesn't quite have the same layered swirl effect as we've seen before. The coloring, actually, you know what? That's more bronze. Excuse me. I'm trying to find a good example here. We've seen a couple of these where you see the number and it's just not a very high quality, you know, like the lighting's like this one, like with the 18, you can kind of see it's not perfectly clear all the way through. There's a couple imperfections. And as you just look at the die, you know, you'll just notice that they're not It's not quite as exquisitely made, so that's why this one's going to be in the standard category. But you see, not all standard die are going to just be meh, you know, one color, nothing to do with it. A lot of factors go into how we calculate or categorize our die. So moving forward, let's start with the Milky White with bronze numbers, starting with its very first number. Let's go. It rolled a 6. And then we rolled a 3. So we're just going to keep on going here. We got plenty of die to do. We've done all the major ones, so let's just kind of get through. That was a 4. This is an 11. We have a 6. An 11. We have a 9. 16. A 3. 14. 8. 1. 12. 3. 2. I almost read that as a 5. I don't know how. 5. 9. 11. And its 20th roll is a 18. Okay. Moving on. So now the next 20 rolls are going to be long rolls for our Milky White with bronze. So we are going to start. Oof. Yeah, these dice are hard to see. 14. A 13. That is a 1. That's a 4. Not liking these long rolls so far. Oh, wait. Maybe. Nope, that's only a 10. 5. 19. 6. We have a 9. A 13. 12. An 8. A 9. A 12. 6. 3. 20. 3. Let's see, what is that? That is a 16. And its 40th roll is an 8. Are you waiting for the stream to see all the profiles? Well, you can just go to the website and see the profiles as I post them, because there's pictures of all of them. So, but you're just waiting until the stream ends to figure out which one you're going to buy first. Is that what you're saying, Soul? I can totally understand that. All right, time for the drop test, everybody. 20 rolls drop test. That is a 7. That is a 1. You know, I have a feeling if this ever kicks off, that's a 5. It'll be like a race for some of these die. 6. It would be great if I can get to the point before I'm done rolling the next die, the last one sold. Like, that would be a great achievement to have. That was a 3, and then an 8, and then an 11. 2. 15. Throat. Figure it out. 9. Asthma sucks, everybody. 1. 15. 14. 11. Excuse me. Don't talk this much. I usually don't talk this much straight. That's 14. Hey, that was what, number 7 off the board? That's a 13. We have a 16, a 5, a 10, and a 7 for the drop test finale. All right, next we are going to do the speed test. I'm going to roll as fast as I can and document them as fast as I can. So there's going to be no preamble, pick up, and roll. Let's go. We have a 2, a 14, a 2, a 20, 13, 19, 20, 7, 5, 18, 11, 19, 6, 20, 7, 13, 14, 14, 20, 5, no, 2. Wow, that was the most 20s we've seen in this entire set so far, just with the fast rolls. This thing's a speed demon. All right, the last ones are the charged rolls. So let's see how it likes being charged around. That is an 18. That is a 16. Not a 61. 8. 8. 5. 12. 8. 1. 4. 4. So basically, if I can't read it, it's a 4. 14. 10. 6. 19. 16. 14. Last 4. 1. 20. 19. What is its last number? 19. Wow, starting it or ending it strong. All right, all right. Well, that was the classic Milky White with bronze. All right, episode A1725. Now let's talk about these stats. The first number it rolled was a 6. The last number it rolled was a 19. Its power score, its power score or strength score or its sum is 985. I think the weakest of them all for strength score. Its average or its power score is a 10. It rolled 6 20s, but 7 1s. Its favorite number rolled most often was 14. Its hated number rolled at least once, but rolled the least often was 15. Its stickiest number, it had 4. The stickiest numbers are 4, 8, 14, and 19. This is not the first time we've seen 14 and 19 as sticky numbers. I think those are just in general sticky numbers. And this is the second die tonight, and just in general, this is the second time we have rolled a forbidden number. This forbidden number was not in 100 rolls. This die did not roll a 17. So, there you have it. That is our classic White Milky. Let me take some pictures. We'll get it up there, and then we'll move on. Bam. All right, it's up there. You know, this is actually going pretty smooth. I actually don't know how... I honestly don't know how long it's taking for each one, but I feel like it's actually going relatively good. I'm only using that to prop it up, which I probably could just use something else. All right, so your classic D20 Milky with some bronze is up on the website. The next prestige die, let me get my next page ready. All right, so now we have a prestige die. And today, the next prestige die we are going to do is a very gorgeous. Now, this is a perfect example of what I'm talking about between the last one that we got that was milky white. But remember how I said sometimes those like swirls, sometimes they just seem perfectly on the surface, like they're all just surface colors. And this is a great example of one that has that multi-layered effect. So we have, what am I going to call this one? Ooh, I want this one to be called Swampy Jade, like a Swampy Jade with, Swampy Jade with, what is that going to be called? It's almost like a flesh tone. Swampy Jade with flesh. That's what this one will be. But look at this. So as I turn it, I hope it comes across on camera how the swirl looks like it's underneath the primary. Like I feel like the dark green is the top coat color, like the actual dye color, and then it feels like the lighter green's underneath it. I don't know if it really comes across, but in person, as it swirls and catches the light, it really does feel like there's two different layers. So I think it's great. It's definitely a fleshy desert sand color. Maybe we'll call it sand instead of flesh. So I will call that, let's see. Milky Jade with sand is what we'll call that one. Milky Jade with sand. All right. And it is time to roll Milky Jade with sand. Let us begin. First roll is an 18, coming out strong. Then we have a 6. Maybe it doesn't like left-handed people. Maybe not. It has a 15. It has an 11. Let's go an 8. We're not trying to do a speed round here, but we are just trying to get these first 20 out of the way. These are just your standard rolls. That's a 7. You know, you just got to flick it around. That's a 17. And then 19, we just want to kind of get these first ones figured out, see if it has an instinct for anything. That's a 14 right there. That's an 11. See, I can just flick it like that. That's a 9. Maybe I'll roll it forward like that. That's a 14. Do a short one against the wall. That's an 18. We'll do a little flick in the air like that. That's a 2. Up against the back wall. 18, 2. That was a 5. And then we'll do towards me. That's a 19. And then we'll go backhanded. That's a 5. And then, you know what, for these last two, I'll switch it back to my normal standard roll, which is an 18, and that roll, which is a 15. Okay, good on the standard rolls. Now let's do our 20 long rolls. Okay, so these rolls are going to be off the hand, down the fingers, and as much of a roll as we can. That is what's considered the long roll category. Oh, I almost dropped it. Don't want to hit the ground. That would be sacrilege. So there it is. We're fine. And long roll, first one is a 7. So let's keep on going down the fingers, across the mat, 17. Let's do another hand there. That's a 6. Let's do another hand over there. We got a 2. And then we have a 1. Maybe it doesn't like my left hand. Let's keep going this way, across the way. That's an 18. See, every time I go back to my right hand, it does something nice. That's a 10. Let's go. Moving on. That's a 19, and then we'll do another one. That's an 18. Come on, maybe we can keep it rolling. That's a 16. It kind of likes that little flick that I'm doing where I kind of just like let it go really quick at the end. That's a 5. Let's go back to this hand. Let's do some 3 off. Oh, whoa, hey, off the board. That's like number 8 for today. That's a 7. Off the hand, that's a 14. Gotta let it roll all the way over. That's a 50. See, it does like it when it hits the back wall. That's a 19, but that didn't hit the back wall. Maybe it wants to get as close without touching. That's a 14. All right, the last two, that's a 19. Look at that. Let's go one more over here. That's a 2. And then we'll do one more little bit of a flick, and it's a 3. All right, those were the long rolls. Next category are the drop rolls. This is a very common one that you'll see. So let's begin with the first drop roll. We have a 17. That is a 1. We have a 6. We have a 10. A 2. A 13. A 2. An 11. A 9. An 11. A 5. A 16. A 19. A 9. That is a 1. We have a 3. A 3. A 15. A 19. And the last drop, that's off the table. That's a number 9 for today. That is a 7 for the last drop roll. Okay. So now we are doing the speed roll. It's as fast as I can and as fast as I can document it. So let's go. That is a 16. That is an 8. So there's no frills, no justification here. We're not giving this thing any time to think. That was a 12 and a 17. Hold on, I mistyped that. 13, 12, 17, 15, 6. We are doing a 2 and a 16 and a 9 and a 13. I can get used to this keyboard, otherwise I could 10 key a lot better. That was 2 16s in a row, then a 9, and then another 10, and then a 3, and a 19, and a 17. Wait, I gotta fix those. Hold on. 19, 17, 7, and the final is a 5. Okay. Now we do our charged rolls. These ones are going to show it a little bit of love. A little bit of warm up, and then we roll. And that is a 12. We do 20 of these to finish it out. And that's a 7. And then we get the full personality profile of this dice. That's a 13. Then we get an 11. And then we get a 16. And a 7. It's kind of liking the little comfort. Yeah, 18. The more we baby it, that's a 19. The more we let it jump around a little bit and then throw, that's a 9. It's liking it. So far, only 3 singles. This is the best run we've had. That's a 14. That's a 18. Excuse me. That's an 18. That's a 15. Yeah. So this is how the die wants to be treated. It needs a little bit of love, little charge. That's a 13. That's a 16. That's a 1. That's the only, yeah, that's only 4 single digits so far. That's a 4. That's four single digits. That's a 13. Last 2 here. That's a 20. And then let's go one more 4 to end it. Wow. Okay. Well, let's figure out what this prestige die looks like. All right. So class prestige. And we are calling this Milky Jade with Sand. And as always, the VOD number is 1725. Has anyone figured out how the code works yet? All right. This prestige die, first roll was an 18. 100th roll, or the last roll, was a 4. The strength score, or its sum, is 1102. This might be the strongest die yet. The power score, or average, was an 11. It rolled 120. It rolled 4 ones. Wow, yeah, that 39th roll. It took 39 rolls. No, I'm sorry, it took 99 rolls. On its 99th roll, it rolled it finally rolled a 20. It took 99 rolls. Its favorite number, however, was a 19. Its hated number was a 20. Its sticky numbers, 4 of them. Sticky numbers are 3, 8, 16, and 18. And it had no forbidden numbers. There you are, ladies and gentlemen. Cats and dogs, those of every denomination that I just can't list off all at once. there is your next profile. So let me get the pictures for this one ready, and we will move on. Yeah, no, that's looking great. Everything's fine. So there we are, everybody. Our Milky Jade with sand numbers is up and ready to go. Actually, let me... There we go. That probably looks a lot better. That even looks even better. Yeah, there you go. This is up. Next up is our classic set. This is a classic Chessex set. But these are Ivory with black. A very nice classic solid color. No big frills on this one though. They're definitely not made out of anything special. So while they do look quite nice, I mean, they're basically just off-white with black. So nothing really to write home about. So I can't really justify these being anything more than just a classic set of dice. But nonetheless, we will get a personality profile out of this D20, one way or the other. So, this is going to be a classic set. And this is going to be Ivory with black. All right, and now we shall begin. First number is a 14. Then a 1. I do like how a lot of them, that's a 13. A lot of these dice have done that where they sway really big on these first couple rolls. That's a 7. That's a 20. We only took 5 rolls for that. That's a 6. That's another 1. That was an 8. No, that was a 16. That 16 is very odd. That's a 20. So 2 20s and 2 1s in the first 20 rolls. That's another 8. That's a 15. We have a 10, a 14, a 6, an 18, a 10. That's a 14. That's an 18. That's a 3. And a 10. First 20 rolls are done. Let's talk about the long rolls. Long rolls are always down the hand, down the fingers, and as far across the board as we can. Let's start. And we have a 9 to start with. We have a 19. 13. All right, maybe it favors these ones. Let's see if we get these double digits going. That's a 5. 19. Oh, that was almost an 11, but now we got a 9. There's our 11. Really wanted that 11. It's a 16. And that's a 2. Let's switch it up here. 13. That's a 9. That's a 15. We have a 10. Didn't really roll too much. That's a 17. Ooh, a 2. Come down to the last 5 here. That's a 9. A 4. Oh, a 20. Let's go. A 12. An 8. And a 10. Okay, so it seems to favor a little bit of those long rolls. Let's figure out what it does with the drop test. Let's go 20 drop rolls. 11. 20. Maybe it likes it rough. Who knows? That's a 5. That's a 2. Maybe not. Maybe it doesn't know what it wants. It's an 8, a 3, a 15. Maybe it's like a roller coaster. It thought it liked it. That's an 8. But then after too many of them, that's a 1. It just realized it's not that great. That's a 5. Who knows? Maybe that's a 2. It does not like the drop, everybody. Did not drop this die. That's an 18. That's a 2. Wow, all low single digits. That's a 10. That's a 10. That's a 12. An 11. A 14. And last drop is a 16. Okay, did not like the drop test. Let's do the speed test now. Fast as I can roll, fast as I can document. No preamble. Let's go. So that's a 20 right out the gate. Another 20, a 4, an 18, a 3, a 4, a 1, a 16, a 15, a 15, a 1, a 10, a 20, a 4, a 15, an 11, a 20, a 4, a 17, and a 2. Okay, lots of 20s came up in the speed challenge. Fascinating. So let's see how it feels about charged rolls. We're going to give it a little bit of love, a little bit of a charge, and then we're going to drop it. That is a 19 coming out the gate. So let's see how it feels for the rest of these. That's a 6. That's a 9. Maybe it just doesn't like my left hand. That's a 12. And that's a 2. Let's switch it up. Let's go right-handed. See if it has a preference. That's a 20 right out the gate from the right hand. That's a 10. Maybe it does favor the right hand. Maybe this is a right-handed die. Maybe that's a 10. Who knows? Maybe the molecules that make it up are all right-handed, and it just can't handle it. Of course they're all right-handed. That's how our universe works. Or are we a left-handed universe? I forget. But the joke was... Oh, that's number 9 for today. The joke was that, of course, it's all one-handed, because that's how things work. I don't know. I don't know how to make that joke any funnier. That was a 3 and a 10 and a 14 and a 19... a 13, a 13, a 4. The last 2 rolls, number 99 is a 17, and the final roll for Ivory and Black, or Ivory with Black, a 15. So let's take care of this profile. We have a classic. This is Ivory with Black. A1725. Now, let's talk about Ivory with Black. What did it roll? Well, first was 14. Its last, or 100th roll, was a 15. Its strength score, or the sum, is 1079. The average, or its power score, is an 11. The number of 20s it rolled, mostly during the drop test, 9. Number of 1s it rolled, 5. Favorite number rolled, 10. Hated number, 7. It is no surprise that it has no forbidden numbers, but once again, it's going to challenge me, because this has 5 sticky numbers. Those are 10, 13, 15, 19, and 20. All of those numbers were rolled consecutively the same amount of times. So there you have it. Our next classic, D20 with a complete set. And there is his personality. Absolute insanity. Let me get this rolled up, or let me get some pictures rolled up. Boom, bada boom. Boom, there it is. It's up there. All right. Next dice is up. We are looking good. I have one more prestige dice, and then we're going to do another artifact dice. So our next die today, what is this? This is a red nebulous die with gold. Yes. Look at that. Nice galactic kind of shine. But Galaxy always thinks of like blue, purples. I think of like this red as kind of more of like a nebulous type. So, our next one to get right now, this is going to be, yes, this is going to be another one of our prestige dice. Red Nebulous with gold. All right, let's find out how this Red Nebulous with gold rolls. Starting with its very first, and let us begin. Starts out with an 18, pretty strong. Oh, I did not clear the last one. Hang on a second. Okay. All right, strong start, strong start. Hang on one second, just gotta reset. All right, 18. Let's continue with standard rolls for first 20. That's a 3. That's another 3. That's a... Nope, that is an 18. That one's not that bad. That's a 2, a 13, and a 7. We have a 17, a 4, and a 3. 17, 1, and 4. 19, 2, 16, 18, 9, 1, and the 20th roll, we have a 13. All right, so that's its first 20 rolls. I don't know. That's it's a pretty large spread, but we'll see if it gets any different with these other rolling methods. So our next category of rolls is going to be the long roll. As always, down the fingers and across the board or the rolling surface as much as we can, and let's see how it likes its long rolls. So we start off strong with a 17, but it did last time, and then it tanked. So let's see. Do you tank again? Well, that's 8. That's better than the 3 that you did on our last category. We have another 8. So you hold on to those 8s. A 15. We have another 8. Yes, yes, yes. It does like those 8s, and that was a 5. That's a 15. We have a 4. A 1. Oof, we don't like those 1s, but that's going to happen. 13, 2. This is a low roller. Oh, there's our first 20. It only took us, what, 38 rolls? That's fine. 19. Or no, 32 rolls, my bad. 3. 9. We have 15 there. Last couple rolls, we have a 9, and then the last 3 will change hands. That is an 8, an 11, and the last long roll for number 40, that's a 14. Okay. So still kind of all over the place, but fairly, fairly even. It looks like it's even, maybe favors the low side, but we'll find out. Next is the drop test. So we are going to be drop rolling for 20. That's 12. That's a 1. We have a 14. That's an 18. We have a 1. We have an 18. We have a 16. That's an 18. We have a 9. So it is definitely favoring the rough play right now. Okay, so that's a 3. This thing likes to get dropped. That's a 16. That's a 16. Okay, the harder I drop it, the more it liked it. That's a 10. That's a 13. I mean, we're getting so many more double digits on the drop test. That was a 17. That's an 8. I think 8's going to be its favorite number. 11, or at least that's what it sounds like to me. That's a 1, That's a 3, and last drop test, that's a 10. Okay, so way more double digits on the drops. Now it's time for the speed round. So I'm gonna roll as fast as I can and type the numbers as fast as I can. No preamble, so we'll see just how it likes with a chaos. Let's go. So that is a 5, that is a 20, that is a 15, that is a 2, a 12, an 11, an 18. Hold on, I messed up. 11, 18, 5, that is a 17. That is a 15, that is a 9, a 7, a 10, 18, 17, 10, 11, hold on, messed up, 5, 2 more, 8, last speed, and 14. Okay, seemed to like the speed at first, but yeah, still a lot more double digits, so it kind of likes the rougher, more chaotic play, it looks like. Now we're going to give it some charged rolls. This is where we give it a little bit of love at first, see if we get anything different. All right, starting out with 15, and then we get into 7 territories. So yeah, it doesn't know what it wants. I don't know if it wants the nice play, the rough play, or maybe it just doesn't know. That's a 3. We had a 5 last one. That's a 3. That one is a 15. Go a couple more with my right hand. That's another 15. We have a 7. Give it a little bit of love, and then we roll it. That's a 12. We'll do 2 more with my right hand, and then we'll do the last 10 with my left hand. That was a 17 and an 8. So, last 10 rolls. Gonna give it a little bit of charge. That's 10. That is a 16. We have a 5. A 9, 16, 4, 10, last 3, 17, roll number 99, 18, and the final roll for this personality, 11. All right, so let's get this one figured out. So this is another one of our prestige die. Yes, my bad. Don't mind me. Prestige dice. So we are calling this Red Nebulous with gold. Now, what are these stats for this die? Well, let's check it out. Let's take a look. Check it out. All right, so the first number it rolled was an 18, starting out pretty strong. The last number, or 100th number it rolled, was a 6. The power, or the strength score, or its sum, is 1056. Not the strongest, but not the weakest we've seen today. Its power score, or its average, was an 11. Number of 20s that were rolled, only 2. Number of 1s that were rolled, 6. Favorite number rolled, 18. Most hated number, aka a number that was rolled at least once, but was rolled the least number of times, 19 and 20. So this thing's playing both ends, right? It rolled 2 20s. It hates 19 and 20. So it only rolled 2 of those each during 100 rolls. It favors 18, but it had 6 1s. So this one's a little bit on the, maybe we'll call this one a pessimistic die, or maybe it just has depression. I don't know. It just definitely seems to like those low numbers for no reason, even though it does have spikes. Let's look at, this one also has 4 sticky numbers. Why are the sticky numbers always so many? All right, so 4 sticky numbers. These are numbers that were rolled consecutively the most times. We have 3, 8, 15, and 16. And this is our third for today and third first, or the third total of the forbidden numbers. So out of 100 rolls, this die did not roll a 6. That is its forbidden number. All right, so there is our next prestige die about to go up on the shop. I'll take some photos, and then we will get to the next one, but there we are. That is the next personality profile to go along with Red Nebulous. So, all right. Website is now updated. we now have all of, what is that? 4, 6, 8, 9, 10. We have 10 items now on the store as of today. Wow. We are killing it. And we still have 5 more to go. Sweet. But here you are, everybody. Red Nebulous with gold. And its personality is now up on the website and in the shop. Go enjoy. And now we are going to our next die. This will be the final artifact for today. We only have 2 artifacts going up. The rest of the die will be your classics and prestige. We have 2 classics and 2 prestige after this. But we do have 1 more artifact. Artifacts are typically made based off of their material and other qualities. These are stone cut die. So for today, we have 2 stone cut die. We've already done our first one earlier, which was our red gemstone. And then we are now going to see what our next artifact die is. And as always, for the artifact die, just because we also want to show off what we're doing here. There we go. And we're going to go ahead and zero that out. And as always, as a normal test, you'll see as a regular die, if it comes up, it will come up as 0.2 ounces. But a lot of the times it's actually more difficult to even get a die to register. But yeah, you'll see standard D20s are your 0.2. Our second artifact die for today is this absolutely gorgeous stone cut with gold inlay. But this is much more of your, I would call this your rose quartz, almost a rose quartz with a gold inlay. There's definitely a golden hue. Actually, that might be my light. Yeah, there we go. So you'll see there's a slight bit of pink to it. So pink quartz with there we go. Can that come through? So that's what we're dealing with today. Yeah, I think that might come through a little bit better. So yeah, slightly pinked quartz with gold inlay. And as you'll see, compared to the other D20s, 0.5 ounces. So that is our show that it is a stone cut, obviously heavier than your standard plastic or resin die. So let me get our profile ready to roll. Artifact die. This is going to be our pink quartz gemstone with a gold inlay. That's going to be hard to write, but that's my problem. All right, and here we go. Time to figure out exactly what this die is all about. That's what we're here for. 100 rolls, 10 stats, 1 personality. Let's find out what the very first roll from the pink quartz gemstone with gold inlay does. That's a 6. We have a 1. We have a 4. We have a 15. That's a 4. That's a 9. Now remember, these first 20, that's a 14, are just standard kind of nothing rolls. We're just trying to get it warmed up. That was a 9. That's a 6. 13. Doesn't matter how we roll them. We can toss them. We can twist them. That was an 8. That's a 9. Kind of drop them, kind of flip them. Doesn't really matter. This is your standard. Just how do you roll dice? 17, 20, 15. And then last 3, we have a 9. We have a 12. And it's 20th roll, a 7. All right, now we get into our roll categories. So first category of rolls is going to be the long roll, down the fingers and across the board. Let's see how it likes that. Woo, starting out strong with a 20. Let's go. And then straight to a 2. Every single one seems to do that on these long rolls. It seems to want to go straight and then tank. Look at that. Another 20 though. 22, 20, and then a 5. What is this back and forth? Do you like the long roll or not? There's another 5. It's teasing me right now, but this thing has some weight to it. You can really feel when it rolls through your fingers. Like you feel like every edge of it going through. That's a 1. You also get a nice little thud when it hits. That's a 7. Man, maybe it doesn't like these long rolls. Maybe it was just teasing me. That's a 19. But yeah, these are so many single digits. That's a 6. And this isn't looking good. That's a 4. This is definitely not working well. That's an 11. Maybe this would be good for like saving throws or anything that you need, a low number for. There goes my second edition talking. That's 12. Let's see here. 15. Yeah, this thing is definitely liking those lower numbers, but that's a 13. So now it's stuck on the teens. That's 14. Okay, so it seems to just get stuck in areas. No, that's an 18. Thought that might be stuck in the corner. That is a 1. And then the 40th roll for the long roll, that is a 10. Okay, so next category of rolls, we are going to do the drop test. Now, because this is a nicer one, normally anytime we do glass, gemstone, or anything else like that isn't durable like metal, we will always add our extra bit to the bottom of this just to make sure that there's no excess damage to the die during the drop roll test. So 20 rolls or 20 drop rolls. Let's see how this fares. 16, 20, 11, 6, 3, 15, 12, 11, 18, 18. So out of the first 10 of those 20, only 2 single digits. It seems like it might like it rough, even though you normally don't want to be rough with these ones. That's a 2. That's a 10. Maybe it wants to break. Maybe that's the whole thing. Maybe that's why it rolls so low. That's a 14. Maybe it wants you to just throw it across the room. 11. It wants to get abused. Maybe that's what this is all about. A 6. Likes it rough. That's a 9. That's a 19. Yeah, it's starting to like these. 14, and then last 2 drops. 3 and 2. Okay. Ended with more double digits this time. But now we will move on to the speed round. The speed round is where I just roll as fast as I can. No preamble. And let's see how it likes the chaos. Ready and go. So that is a 16. That is a 1. That is a 6. That's an 11. 9. 3. Wait, hold on. 6, 9, 3. 14, 7, 14, 8, 20, 15, 2, 13, 7, 20, 11, 5, 6, and 17. That was an excess roll. So now we do the charged rolls for the last 20. These are rolls 80 through 100, and we're just going to give it a little bit of charge, a little bit of love. Look at that, that's an 11. And then we're just going to give it just a little bit of love, and that's an 8. Let's see if it likes this. That's a 9. It's not sure about it. It's not sure. That's a 6. That's a 4. It does not like being coddled. Look at that. That's a 2. It's just getting worse. 16. Starting with an 11, then 8, 9, 6, 4, 2, then 16, 3. Yeah, okay, don't charge these dice. 2. Unless it just doesn't like left hands. 6. Let's do the next 10 with our right hand. We'll give it a little bit of a charge. That's an 8. A little bit of a charge. That's an 8. A little bit of a charge. That's a 1. Wow. Do not be kind to this one. This one does not want kindness. That's a 4. That's a 7. No, this one had the most luck during the drop rolls. That's a 9. This one has only done double digits 3 times. being coddled like this. That's a 12. 4 times. Last two, this is roll number 99, 13, and roll number 100, 10. Wow. Okay. This die likes it rough. That's what we've learned about this personality. It likes it rough, all right? So let's talk about it. Let's get this personality figured out. This is an artifact. And we are calling this Pink Quartz Gemstone. With gold inlay. The bigger the name, you know, the fancier the die. And A1725 is the VOD number, or the VOD code. And let's talk about these numbers. So the first number this rolled was a 6. The last number it rolled was a 10. Its strength score, or sum, was 986. Its power score, or average, was a 10. It rolled 6 20s. It rolled 5 1s. Its favorite number to roll was a 6. Its hated number, the number it rolled at least once, but the least amount of times, was a 17. Its sticky numbers, because there are 3 of them, are 5, 8, and 18. And it rolled every number, so it has no forbidden numbers. So there you are. There is our next artifact, second artifact of the day, and currently about to be the second artifact on the website. Give me just a moment to post it. All right, so our Pink Quartz Gemstone with gold inlay with dice personality is now live at the shop. So next one, let's move to let's do a classic. Let's go, because we just did a prestige that's similar. Let's do a classic that's similar to a prestige that we just did. So this one is kind of one of your classic colors. Again, this is an opportunity to show off why we choose what we do. This one has some nice coloring in the back, but it's just too one-dimensional. And I don't know if you'll be able to see that through here, but while it has some nice swirls to it, the numbering's quite nice. It's not terrible on a lot of the inking, but if you'll notice, for me, it's just all of the swirl is just too one-dimensional. It just feels too much on the surface. So while it looks nice, this is going to be one of our classic die. All right, and then what are we calling this one? This one is, oof, it's like pink, red, and black with gold. So we'll call this one pink, red ink with gold. Pink, red ink. That's what we're going to call this one. And starting with the very first roll, 12. Let's figure out what this die has in store for us. That is a 4. First 20 rolls are going to be standard, 20. We're just going to kind of not really care too much about how we're doing them. We're just burning off the first 20 with just any kind of roll we can come up with. That was a 10 and a 7. Now we have a 13. We have a 20. First 20 only took 8 rolls. We have a 13 and a 5. That was a 1. That is another 20. 2 20s in the first round. Let's go. 8. That was a 4, and then an 8, and then a 3. We have an 18. We have a 4. That's a 5, a 9, and the 20th roll is an 11. All right, so the next 20 rolls are going to be long rolls. That is down the finger and across the board. Let's see if the die enjoy it. That is a 14. Say, not too bad. That is a 3. That is a 5. We have a 12. 14. So the long rolls, at least we're getting a lot of double-digit numbers in the long rolls. So that's 9. That's still not the worst of the single digits. That's another 14. That's an 8. That's a 9. We have a 12, 20, and an 8. Hey, those 20s came out at the same time. There was both of those are at the 12th roll of their category. That was 8 and 11, and then we have a 3. We have a 17 for the long rolls, a 19 coming down to the last couple, last 3 here, 13. We have a 15 and one more from the right hand. That's a 19. All right, moving on to the next category of rolls. The next 20 are going to be the drop rolls. This is the drop test. See if it likes it rough. Let's begin. And that's a 9. Starting out not great. The others started out at double digits. That's a 6. Maybe this thing doesn't like to get dropped. That's a 14. That's a 16. Maybe it just doesn't know. Maybe it has to learn to like it. Nope, that's a 1. It tried to like it and then just immediately didn't. That's a 12. That's a 4. Seeing a lot of single digits. That's a 6. We're doing an 8. Nope, that's off the board. That's number 10 for today. 17, 3, 16, 17, 17, 19, sorry, 11, a couple more, 6, 10, and I'll do the last 2 with my right hand. That's a 17. Actually, maybe it does like getting dropped. There's a lot of double digits here, a lot of high double digits. That's a 19. Let's go. All right, now it's the speed roll test. So speed rolling as fast as I can, as fast as I can document. No preamble. Let's see if it likes the chaos. So that is a 9. Then a 3. We have a 15, a 12, a 7, an 8, 19, 10, 16, 18, 4, 13, 8, 13, 6, 1, 11, 14, 2 more, 13 last speed roll, and a 3. Hang on a second, my cat's about to destroy everything. Kitten. I'll leave it go away. All right. So those were the speed rolls. Now we have the, hang on. No, go on. I have a feeling he is now going to be nothing but a bother, so I might have to go lock him up. But the last 20 rolls of this personality are going to be the charged rolls. So let's see if this die likes a little bit of love. So we're going to charge it up a little bit. And we get an 18. So I can type. There we go. So a little bit of love, and we get a 1. Don't do this to me. Dude, there's 2 1s in a row. And there's another 18. What? What? What are you doing to me, die? Okay, that was a 15 and a 17. And then another 1. Oh my gosh. This is either loving it or hating it. I don't get it. That's an 11. So we had a 14 and an 11. And then another 14. And then a 5. And then a 10. And then a 19. Let me go right-handed. Maybe, I'm telling you, some of these die don't like left hands. That's a 13. 8 and 7. We have an 8, a 6, and a 15. And the last charged roll, a 9. All right, so let's discuss what exactly is going on with this classic. We are looking at a pink-red ink with gold. So, what did this dice do? Well, the first roll was a 12. The final 100th roll was a 9. Our strength score, or sum, was 1079. Our average or our power score was an 11. Our number of 20s rolled, 3. Number of 1s rolled, 6. Favorites numbers, 8 and 17. Most hated numbers, rolled at least once, but rolled the least, 7, 16, and 20. Sticky numbers, 1 and 17. And out of 100 rolls, this die did not roll a 2. So it has a forbidden number. That's number 4. 4th time we've seen that. So there you are. There's the personality. And we're going to take some pictures. And, done. All right. And there we are. Our classic pink red ink with gold is now up on the website. misfitgamerstudios.com/dice profiles. Don't forget the hyphen. Let's move on to one of our prestige dice. Now I'm going to do this one. I'm going to save that one for last. So our next die, let me get that thing ready. Die number 13 today, everybody. Dice number 13. So we have our next prestige die coming up. Ooh. This one is Emerald Ink Swirl with moss. That's what we're calling this one. Emerald Ink Swirl with moss. So, that'll be our next prestige. Emerald Ink Swirl with moss. Let us begin our very first roll to find out what personality this Emerald Ink Swirl moss die will give us. Remember, 100 rolls, 10 stats, 1 personality. Here at the Dice Profiler, brought to you by Misfit Gamer Studios, the only place where you can get to know your die before you buy. Let's begin. 15 to start out with. That is an 18. Coming out strong. No, now that's a 3. That was a 9. That's a 2. 15. 1. It's kind of just going everywhere right now. 13. Hitting all of the stops. 9. It's trying to hit every number before we even get to another category. 6. Let's switch hands. That is a 6. That is a 16. That is a 20. So we got a 20 within the first category. That's a second 20. 2 20s in a row. Let's go. That was a 10. We have a 3. We have a 9. We have a 7. A 3. And the final first 20 is a 16. Hang on 1 second before we move on to the next one, because I got to get my cat out of here before I destroy everything. Well, I'm going to be here for another half hour, so he can be locked up in the other room. All right, so that was our standard rolls. Our first 20 are out of the way. Let's move on to our long rolls. Long roll rules. They have to roll down the fingers and across the dice board. Let's see if this die likes it long. First one is a 12. Let's keep it going. That's a 2. What are you doing? Why are all these dice tanking during the long roll? That is a 1, by the way. That's a 7. This is not a good... This is not good, looking good for this long roll. That's an 18, by the way. That was a 5 and then an 18. That's a 13. You know, you would think dice like to do, you know, the long roll. You would think that they would want to take their time. But no, this one wants to be rushed. That was, by the way, a 4 and a 9. And then a 7. Let's switch hands here. Long roll with the left hand. That's a 5. We have a 3, 15, 11, 1, 17, 4, 8, 2 more, 18, and 17. So that's our second category down. The next 20 rolls are going to be drop rolls. So here's our drop test. Let's see if this die likes to get dropped. Starting with roll number 1, a 19 starting strong. Are you going to tank like you do every other time? That's a 12. Hey, okay. And that's an 11. Hey, the first time we got 3 double digits in a row, that's 4 because it's a 15. 17, 5 double digits in a row from this drop test. Now we got our first single digit, which is an 8. Now we have 17, 18, 17. Let's see. Do you like a really high drop? Oh, off the board. It's number 11 for today. A 3. You didn't like being dropped out of the board. Okay, but 12. We're back up to the double digits. 6, 15, 20. Let's go. We finally get that's our like third 20 of the day. Of this die. 17. Third 20 took to the drop test. That's an 8. 19. 3 more. 16. 1. And then the final on the drop roll is a 10. Okay. 2 more categories to go, 40 more rolls. Now, this next category is going to be the speed rolls. This is no preamble. We're just going to pick it up, roll, and have no preamble, no delay, just to see how it likes the chaos. So, ready, set, go. That is a 4. That is a 15. 8, 12, 20, 7, 5, 3, 5, 18, 19, 20, 14, 8, 12, 12, 17, 18, 2 more, 6, and 7. So there was a decent run there. So it doesn't mind the chaos. This die can handle the chaos, everybody. Now let's do our final category of rolls, the last 20, 80 through 100, and these are our charged rolls. Let's see if it likes a little bit of coddling and likes it gentle. So we're starting out strong with an 18. Let's give it a little bit of a gentle roll, and that's a 2. This thing doesn't know what it wants. No, none of these dice know what it wants. Oh, that's off the board. That's like number 11 for today. That's 10. Let's see. So give it a little bit of a charge and then toss it out. That's a 12. Okay. So maybe it likes a little bit of love. Maybe that's what it wants. That's a 5. Let's see. What else do we have here? That's a 17. That's a 10. We have a 5. Nope. That's a no number. It's the second time it's happened today. That's an 18. That's a 12. I should have little bets going on how many times it goes out of the board throughout the entire stream, how many times it goes on a non-number. That one's a 17. Should have giveaways or something for that. That's a 6. Maybe I'll put die aside and we'll do a free die for anybody who guesses the right number. That's a 1. Man, we could take bets, giveaway bets. How many 1s in the entire stream will be rolled? That's a 3, by the way. That's 5. That's an 18. Last couple here. That's a 20. Last 3 rolls. We have a 17. We have a 14. And the 100th roll for this die, and its final roll for the personality, an 18. Let's go. Okay. Let's figure out what this prestige die has in store. We are calling this the Emerald Ink Swirl with Moss. This will be A1725 VOD code. And now it's time to talk about what the Emerald Ink Swirl did. So, out of 100 rolls, the first roll was a 15. The last roll was an 18. Its strength score, or the sum of all rolls, was 1099. It's a very solid number right there. Its power score, or the average, was 11. Number of 20s rolled, 6. Number of 1s rolled, 5. Favorite numbers, 17 and 18. Hated numbers, 11, 13, and 14. Sticky numbers, 6, 12, and 20. That's fantastic. You definitely want 20 as a sticky number. Remember, sticky numbers are the ones that were rolled most consecutively. And it rolled every number, so there are no forbidden numbers. Everyone, this is your moss, or your emerald with ink, swirl with moss. Let me get those photos up, and this will be on the website and on the shop momentarily. So, everything we've rolled up till now is up there. I think that's 13. We have 13 profiles. Let's see, that's what, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 profiles are up on the website right now. And we have 2 more to do. 1 more classic, 1 more prestige, and that will be us for the rest of the day. But we are now moving on to the next classic die here. This is going to be Sunrise with black, because that's basically what I feel like this is. This feels very sunrise colors. I'm thinking like tequila sunrise almost, like the drink. So yeah, very much sunrise with black. That's kind of I almost went orange sickle, but it'd have to have white, so we're gonna call that, we'll call it a tea sunrise, just so everyone knows, just so you know, or the TQ, we'll call it a TQ sunrise. Don't want to put, don't want to make it not safe, not family safe. No, let's do sunrise. It's fun. It makes sense. If you know, you know. All right, so the sunrise dice, the last classic of the day. Let's find out what its first number is going to be and the first 20 standard rolls. Let's begin. Starts off with a 17, and I can already see some like defects in the text. That's fine. Second one is a 15. Ooh, and a 20. This one's starting out pretty strong. Sometimes that was a 10 and a 17. Man, sometimes these ones will get you out of nowhere. That was a 7 and a 4. We have a 19. We have a 1. We have an 18. We have a 1. An 8. 6. 19. 16. 15. 12. Last 3. 7. 8. And 1. Okay, so the first 20, not anything impressive, but we did get, a 20 within the first 3 rolls, so that's got to count for something. Now, we are moving on to the long rolls. As always, long rolls must go down the fingers and across the board to count. So, that's what we're going to do. The next 20 rolls for long. Let's see how it likes it. We get a 20 right out the gate. Maybe this one is going to like these long rolls. That's a 3. Maybe not. Maybe it's just going to troll us like every other dice does. That's a 15 on the third long roll. A 1. Okay, so now we're just flip-flopping back and forth. 19, so we're 23, 15, 1, 19. What are you going to do? A 2? Are you going to do a 2? You're going to do a 15. Okay, you're just trolling me right now. That's a 17. What, do you like the long rolls or not? That's a 6. That's a 1. 17. 14. 17. 5. 18. 9. 1. 14, 13, 10, and 1. Okay, so I don't know. This thing doesn't know what it wants. I don't know if the long rolls are really helping, but now we get to one of my favorite categories, which is right in the middle, is the drop test or the drop roll category. So 20 rolls dropping. Let's go and see if it likes it plain rough. That is a 5 to start it out. That is a 10. Come on, double again and give me a 20. No, that's a 5. That's an 11. Are you serious? Are you just going to keep doing this? That's a 16. What are you doing to me right now? That's a 13. That's a 7, 12, 16. Let's go up. Number 12 off the board. That's an 8. That's a 9. Number 12 is in the 12th time. That wasn't the number. We don't take it off the board. That's a 17. That's a 20. Let's go. That's an 11. We have a 6. We have a 15. A 1. A 10. A 15, and the last drop roll, a 13. Okay. That one seemed pretty even, actually. That was a pretty nice spread. It didn't seem to favor either one. So now it is time for the speed category. No time to recover. This is just seeing how it likes to deal with the chaos. No preamble. We just pick it up and roll, ready, go. So that is a 1. That's a 6. That's a 14. That is a 10. That is a 17. That's an 8. That's a 10. That's a 9, and an 18, and a 14, and a 16, a 7, a 4, an 8, a 19, a 3, a 19, a 15, a 5, and a 13. Pretty decent spread. I think I see a lot more double digits on that one. But now we get to our final category of rolls, the charged roll. Give it a little bit of love, and then we see what it does. So we start out with a 12. And a 6. A 16. An 8. A 7. A 3. Doesn't seem to care too much for the charged rolls. A 20, though. There we go. A 15. Maybe I spoke too soon. Maybe it just needs to warm up to it. Nope. Now it wants to tank out at a 5. That's 17. Let's switch hands for the last 10. That's a 2. That's a 14. That's a 13. 12. 11. 14. A 4. A 12. 2 more. Roll number 99, and the final 100th roll for this personality, a 15. All right, second to last personality we will be rolling for today. Let's find out what this classic die has in store. Take your bets now, chat, for Sunrise with Black. VOD number A1725. Let's find out what Sunrise with Black rolled. Its first number of 100 was 17. Its 100th roll was a 15. Its strength score, or its sum of all numbers, is a 1082. Definitely a contender in our top 10 for today, or probably our top 5. Its power score, or its average, was an 11. Number of 20s rolled, 4. Number of 1s rolled, 9. That right there is the highest for the lowest roller so far. Not the lowest roller in terms of the sum. We've had actually lower rollers cumulative, but no die has rolled over 6 1s yet. So 9 1s is absolute insanity. Its favorite numbers are 1 and 15. So we know that it rolled 9 1s and 9 15s. That's hilarious. Its most hated number. So the number that it rolled at least once, but the rolled the least, was a 2. Sticky numbers. Oh boy, it has 5 sticky numbers. They all have these sticky numbers are the ones that rolled most consecutively. We have. That's impossible. Are you serious? Its sticky numbers are 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So it just gets stuck at low teens. That's insane. And it rolled every number on the die, so there are no forbidden numbers. All right, everybody, second to last die for today's live stream. There is its profile, and we are about to take pictures and set this up on the website where you can get all of our dice rolled today and any day whenever we do this. All right. We actually went through 15 personality profiles pretty quickly. I mean, I didn't know how long this was going to take. I didn't think it was going to take that long, but this is pretty nice. All right, so that's it. That was Sunrise of Black. That was the last classic, and we have one more prestige die, everybody. This is the last die of the day. I want to thank everybody for hanging out and enjoying the stream, but this will be the last one we do, so enjoy it. Go check out the shop when you're all done, and go see if any of these profiles fit your fancy. All right. And the last but not least, what are we going to call this one? I have so many different ways I want to call this. Like, I think I'm gonna call it Cow Blotch with pink. This is our last prestige dice. But yeah, I think I'm gonna call it Cow Blotch with pink. Great die for a Minotaur, I would say. So, yeah, perfect. Cow Blotch. Cow Blotch with pink. Last prestige dice of the day. Here we go. It's first of 20 standard rolls. Starting off with a 20. Let's go. That's what you want to see for a prestige dice. It starts off really nice. Let's keep it going. And it tanks straight down to a 4. Then back up to an 18. Then an 11. And a 7. And a 3. And a 5. What do you want to do here? 13. Oh, wait, no. 5. 13. That is a 9. That's an 11. 12. 2. 2. 18. No, wait, no, that's a 19. Excuse me. What, do you just like left hands, my right hands more? That's a 6. Do you just like my right hand? No, that's a 6. You don't care. That's a 10. That's a 5. Last 2. That's a 16. And the last of the first 20 is a 2. Okay, started out really strong and then didn't know where it wanted to go. But now it's time for the long rolls down the fingers and across the board. It's moodful. I like that. Yes, it's a very moodful one. Let's go. Down the fingers, across the board, long rolls, doesn't like it. That's a 7. And that's a 15. That is a 6. That is a 16. 14. 11. 18. 14. 1. And 8. We'll switch hands. 3. I don't think it's going to matter much. 20. Let's go. That's 12. That's an 18. 4. 12. 14. 2. Last 2 long rolls, 12. And last long roll, a 14. Okay, well that takes care of that category. Next category is gonna be our drop rolls. All right, so let's figure out what happens during the next 20 drop rolls. Let's go. And that's number 12 outside for today. Let's restart. Drop rolls number 1. Starts off with a 10. That's a 19, 3, 11, 15, 9, 2, 15, 17, 16, 9, 3, 17, 12. Let's drop it with this hand for a bit. 4, 15, 5, 17, 2 more, 20, hey, 1 more, and a 6. All right, there goes the drop rolls category. Now the second to last category is the speed rolls category. This is going to be the chaos of just pick up, roll, no preamble, no time, just pure chaos. Let's see how it likes it. Ready, go. That is, oh, wow. I'm just going to re-roll that because that literally, with not touching anything, landed perfectly between the 2 and the 18. I've never seen that before. So we're just going to restart. Let's go. That's a 15 and a 1 and a 9, 7, 17, 20, 2, 7, 13, 7, 14, 15, 6, 9, 13, 10, 15, 10, 18, and the final 3. All right. Now we are on to the final 20 rolls, 80 through 100, and these are the charged rolls. So we're going to give it a little bit of love. We're going to pamper it a little bit, charge it, and then drop it. So that is a 17. Let's see if it continues to like these. That's a 7. All right. And there's a 4. Let's switch hands for a little bit. That's a 6. All right, you're going to like these. That's a 4. 17. 6. 7. 17. 17. 17. 15. 1. Ah, I was going there for a minute. 4. Let's do last couple here. 5. 1. 10. Oh, last 3. 17. Roll number 99. 9. And here is roll number 100 to complete the final personality profile for today. That is a 9. All right, everybody, let's see the final personality profile from this prestige dice. What did it give us? And we have the cow blotch with pink. A1725 is the VOD code, and let's figure out what cow blotch with pink did. Its first roll right out the gate came in strong with a 20. But its last roll didn't end as well with a 9. Its strength score, the sum of all numbers rolled, was a 1028. Its power score, or average, is a 10. The number of 20s it rolled is a 4. The number of 1s it rolled was a 4. Its favorite number to roll was a 17. Its most hated number, the number rolled at least once, but the least often, was an 8. And its most sticky number was a 17. And it rolled every number, so there are no forbidden. That actually might be one of our most balanced die personality profiles. But there it is. There's your final prestige. Let's take some final pictures. And we are going to call it a day, but I want to thank everybody for joining us. So that's it. All of them are up right now. And just as you know, when you get the personality profile as written here with all of the data that you saw, the VOD channel, and then on the back, you will get a QR code to our VOD channel on YouTube with the code of the video. So A1725 is today's code, and I will fill this out later. So when you do purchase it, it will have the timestamp of what chapter your die was rolled in. Thank you again. This has been the Dice Profiler from Misfit Gamer Studios, the only place where you can get to know your die before you buy. Check out our website, misfitgamerstudios.com/dice profiles. Don't forget that hyphen between dice and profiles, and we will see you next time. Cheers.